Oftentimes we talk about passion like it's something that's this mystical thing. Like you either wake up with it or you don't. Some people have it, some people don't. Some think of it like this emotional spark that once it's completely gone, that means your dreams are just over. But that's not what passion is. Passion is this emotional state. And emotional states, they're not permanent, but they are directional, which means that passion isn't something that you lose, it's something that you aim. The same emotional intensity that once drove you to dream bigger, work harder, and believe more, it can just as easily turn into frustration, avoidance, and even quitting if you let it. Not because the passion disappeared, but because its focus shifted. You didn't stop being passionate. Your passion just stopped serving your future and it started serving your comfort more. And this is where people, they can get confused. You may be this place right now. They think passion is supposed to push them automatically. But passion without direction, it doesn't push you, it really pulls you. It pulls you towards whatever feels easiest, safest, or just most justified in the moment. So today we're not talking about how to find your passion. We're talking about how to take control of it so it fuels your vision instead of sabotaging it. Because passion that's unmanaged, it will work against you completely. But passion that's disciplined, that is where you become unstoppable. If you're new or returning and haven't already, do me the biggest favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a single episode. We have new episodes every single Friday here at the Kaytlynn Ward Show. And hey, I'm Kaytlynn, I'm your host. So hit that subscribe button and let's get into the topic today. The first thing that we need to do is to set a foundation for what passion is to fully understand what we're going to be talking about today. If you go look up on Google, you're going to come across so many different definitions of this word passion. But this is the one that, it stood out to me the most to really emphasize what we're talking about today. And it says this: a passion is an authentic, deep, and intense enthusiasm or desire for something characterized by a willingness to endure hardship, put in constant effort, and make sacrifices for it far beyond mere interest or a hobby, driven internally without needing external rewards or pressure. It's about deep dedication, commitment, and a powerful emotional drive that makes you persevere through challenges for the love of the activity itself. A passion is an intense emotional desire to go after that big dream, to pursue that worthwhile vision that you have for your life. It's an emotional state that can drive you, or it's something that can just stop you in your tracks. Let me ask you this question. How many know that your emotions and your feelings can switch like that? All of us know that. And if you don't, well, I'm telling you today. And those of you watching right now, you might be at a crossroads where you feel like you've just lost your passion to continue in the pursuit of that dream. And well, it's not that you've lost it. It's that you're allowing those emotional drivers that are within a passion to dictate what you do. So if we look at passion merely in the way that we just defined it as an intense emotional desire or a feeling, well, then we will see it this way. It's not that you've lost your intense emotional desire or feeling. It's just that its focus is no longer pushing you and motivating you and serving you to go after the dream. Its focus now is this: an intense emotional desire or a feeling to do nothing because you had a really hard and long day at work. It's an intention, emotional, and desire and feeling to push you to quit because you didn't see any progress. Your feelings and emotions, they change so fast, and they can be dictated by your surroundings if you're not in control of them and if you are not disciplined. So the key to having a passion, an intense emotional desire or feeling to serve you is this. Number one, get a hold of yourself. Your feelings are something that you get to choose the direction of. So choose them to serve you. Some of you might not think, have never heard that before, but you get to choose how your emotions serve you. And For example, I was listening to this message by Nancy Dufresne, and she was talking about how there were times when she dreaded traveling. She dreaded packing. And there was this one instance where she was just packing and didn't want to go, and she began to just dread what she was doing, dread going on the trip. But then she changed something. She began to change her mindset and begin to change her attitude by getting herself thrilled with what she was doing. She went from dreading travel to then shifting that mindset, shifting that emotion, that feeling to excitement. She began to practice this feeling where she was like, instead of doing, I don't want to pack. Instead of doing that, she was like, I get to pack. I'm excited to do this. And so I began to practice this myself because she showed how when she changed her wording and what she was saying and how she was acting, she started to see a difference in her emotions and her feelings because you get to choose the direction of those things. And so I literally did this the other day because I was dreading having to write an episode, having to create content. And I just I had like my shoulders shrugged. I was like, oh, I gotta do this. And then I remembered what she said. And I was like, no, I get to write. I get to create content. And I got my attitude in check from shifting what I was saying from I have to I get to. So the first thing that you're going to have to do to get your passion, that intense emotional desire or feeling to serve you, is to get a hold of yourself. Get a hold of your emotions. There will be times when you want to have a bad attitude. You want to let your feelings run wild, but you can't afford to do that if you want to see yourself, your business, your family become something great. So get a hold of yourself is number one. And number two, get a system. I once heard someone say this, I believe it was a mentor of mine, but they said in times of crisis, you fall to your systems. When you have a routine that you stick to for your growth and you have a system that serves you, you have something that is going to help you stay consistent when you get to a place where you don't feel like it. And so I'm going to explain this in a really funny way. So I'm going to give you an example of two people. We have Systems Sally and we have No Systems Neil. Systems Sally, first and foremost, she loves what she does. And she has a passion for doing something really big in her life. She has an intense emotional desire to build her online business every single day after her 9-to-5 job, okay? And so she has her daily routines that are in her Google Calendar that she regularly updates, checks, and sticks with. But this is how her Monday went. Sally woke up and saw that her dog had an accident in the house. So she cleaned that up and was a little late in getting ready because of that. And so then she rushes out the door and she forgets her lunch. So there are 2 strikes right there. Dog messes up, forgets her lunch. Now she's on her way to work and she's going to get her coffee on the way and they make her order wrong. So that's strike number 3. Once she gets to work, everything she had planned for the day went completely out the window because there was a fire she had to put out and it took up all of her day. 4 strikes on the day. So after work, she's worn out and you would think that she's just going to put aside working on her online business today because of the day she had, right? But no, she's not, because she gets home and she resets. She gets some dinner and then she gets to work on her to-dos for her online business that she had set for the day. She stuck with her systems. She had something to fall back on when her day went crazy. Even when she didn't feel like it, she stuck with it because she had systems. Now we have No Systems Neil. He had the exact same day as Sally, but he doesn't have routines that he sticks to. He does whatever he feels like, and he just goes where the wind takes him. And he also does have a passion and a dream for creating an online business after his 9-to-5. But with Neil, he gets home from work and he's like, the day I just can't do anything today with my online business because I deserve to rest. I need a rest. So he gets home, he gets his dinner, and then he just binge watches his favorite show because the day he had just took it out of him. He's not motivated. He doesn't feel like it. And so he just doesn't do anything towards the online business. He just doesn't do anything. Both Sally and Neil, they had the exact same day. But only one of them stayed consistent in the pursuit of building their online business, in the pursuit of that passion. Why? because one of them had their systems that allowed them to stay in the routine of consistency, even when they didn't feel like it, while the other had no system to fall back on, so they just didn't feel like it and they just didn't do it. These two people both had an intense emotional desire. One was directed into staying consistent with their dream because they had a system to fall back on, while the other one allowed that intense emotional desire to go towards what felt easiest, which was lay on the couch and binge watch your TV. So you get to choose where you direct that passion, because again, your passion is something that is a thing that you can direct. It's a thing that you can aim. And so we had System Sally, where she directed and aimed hers towards continuing on with building her online business. And she stayed consistent with building that dream. So she caused her passion to serve her. That intense emotional desire was served because it served her because she was able to focus on her system. But then you have No Systems Neil, who caused it to serve him in resting and not continuing after that dream. So your passion is something that you get to choose where you want to aim it. So I want to leave you with this today. Passion isn't missing from your life. It's very active. It's powerful. I mean, you can see it in Sally and Neil. And whether you realize it or not, it's already serving something. The question is, what is it serving? Because the same emotional intensity that once pushed you towards growth and vision and purpose can just as easily pull you toward comfort, delay, and justification. Not because you stopped caring, but because you stopped directing that passion. That's why it isn't a passion problem. It's a leadership problem. Do you have a problem with leading your life? When you get a hold of yourself and you decide where your emotions go instead of just letting them to decide for you, then you shift your language like I did. I could have very well let my emotions just rule over my day, rule over everything I was doing, and just quit in content creating, quit in writing courses because I just didn't feel like it. I have to do this. Oh, I don't want to do this. Or you can shift your mindset like me and say, I get to do this. And suddenly your passion, that intense emotional desire, it starts working for you. Because when you start changing what you're saying, your body and your attitude is going to get lined up. Even when you don't feel like doing something, if you just start saying, I get to, you get thrilled with what you're doing, your body and your emotions are going to get lined up with, because the Bible says death and life are in the power of the tongue. I say that all the time. But when you say things to get yourself in line with the plan that God has for you, of like, what? If God put that online business in your heart and you start saying, I get to do this. Even though I had a hard day at work, I get to do this. When you do that, you're directing that passion to serve you instead of letting that passion, that intense emotional desire, cause you to quit because you just don't feel like it. And when you build systems that give that directed passion somewhere to land, you remove that daily decision making. So you don't wait to feel ready. You show up because it's already scheduled, it's already planned, and it's just already a part of who you are. Sally didn't win because she felt better than Neil. She won because she led herself better. So if your passion feels off right now, don't ask yourself, what's wrong with me? I feel like I lost my passion. No, ask yourself, where am I allowing my emotions to take the lead? Because passions that are unmanaged, they're just going to cause you to drift away, cause you to be ruled by your emotions. But you can also say it as this: that intense emotional desire that's unmanaged, it will cause you to drift away. That passion is something you get to choose where to direct. And so when it is directed through discipline and through systems and through making sure you keep your emotions in check, it's going to build something extraordinary, even on the days that you don't feel like it. And that's how you stop losing momentum. You start making passion work for you again by getting a hold of yourself and getting your systems in line. If this episode encouraged you today, do me the biggest favor and let me know in the comments. Let me know something that stood out to you. And if you haven't already, do me the biggest favor, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications so you don't miss an episode, because we have new episodes every single Friday right here on the Kaytlynn Ward Show. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I will see you again next week.